Hi guys, it's me Tiffany. So today I want to talk to you about my plan for downsizing citrus. So when I say downsizing, I don't mean actually having less plants. I mean having smaller plants. And you might be like, well, what do you mean? Well, here's the issue. My greenhouse there is only 7.5 feet tall. The reason why I cannot have a big greenhouse is because I have to heat my greenhouse during the winter. The bigger the greenhouse gets, the more I'm going to pay on my electric bill. This tree right here is already 6.5 feet. The height of the greenhouse is 7 feet. This plant is too tall, and it's also really too wide. That pot is about 18 to 20 inches wide. So what I want is a smaller tree. So this is a calamondin. And what I've done to this tree and two other tall citrus trees is I have been air layering them. I made these air layers 2 months ago, and I was walking by and I noticed something. So in the bag you can see white roots. I'm going to go ahead and cut this off, and I'm going to pot it up. So my first order of business is to snip this limb off. Notice I am here below the air layer or below the bag, and I'm going to cut it right here. This is going to be the start of a new plant. I also want to tell you, if you notice, I took that air layer out of the top of the tree, like right around here. And there's a reason. If you're going to propagate a tree, make sure you understand citrus trees and node count and how node count affects the juvenility of the tree. So I have some seedling trees that I'm propagating. This is my honey murcot, and you can see the air layer here. And again, notice the air layer is in the top. Because this tree was grown from seed, the understanding of node count and how it affects the tree is very important. So if I were to take air layers from limbs here on the bottom, basically I would be regressing the tree back to its juvenility. So when I propagate this and I want to produce fruit as soon as possible, I need to take my wood off the top of the tree because those have higher node counts. So those are considered mature branches and they will produce fruit. So here inside, notice I use sphagnum peat moss to do my air layering. Other people use other mediums. And notice right here, there are roots sticking out. So what I'm going to do is I am going to put this in well draining, fast draining, potting medium, and pot this up. So when you plant your citrus, your potting soil needs to be fast draining. So I'm going to make my own potting soil out of these ingredients. You don't have to spend a lot of money on this. This is expensive, but I garden, so I have these things on hand. If you want, just grab a bag of Miracle-Gro cactus and citrus soil. It'll work just fine. So now that I've got my air layer potted up, I'm going to prune it. It's not necessary because it does have roots. However, knowing that I just disturbed it, I want it to focus more on producing roots than maintaining lush green growth. And there is a fruit on it. I don't want it to be stressed out trying to carry that fruit. I don't really have a method to my pruning madness, quite frankly. So I'm just going to chop it off here. And that removes that fruit. There was a flower there too. And then over here, I'm going to chop it off about right there. So that's all of the plant that I'm going to leave, and that way this plant has the ability to focus on putting down good roots, and when it's done putting down roots, then it can come back and it can produce foliage. We've got to remember to water this in, and I'm actually going to keep this plant probably in a shaded area for about a week. The reason why is it's been extremely hot here in the south, and I'm afraid if I put it out in that hot sun, it'll kill it. So I'm going to keep it shaded for about a week to give the roots time to make good contact with the soil, and then I'll put it back out into full sun. So that's it, guys. That's how I'm going to downsize. I'm going to use air layers to make smaller plants. And the bigger plants, unfortunately, I'm going to have to say goodbye to them. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day.